a game or two off of them here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, BMG isn't the kind of team that kind of rolls over and just lets Evil Corporation have their way. They're not by any means intimidated by their opponents at any time. Doesn't matter what team they're up versus. And I'm sure that they will show us here today. I wouldn't be too surprised if this series actually ended in a tie. I do believe that Evil Corporation, aka Recent Gaming, though, for those of you who didn't tune in yesterday, they dropped the sponsor, and from what I know at least, or from what you told me yesterday, they're looking. No, wait, that was ProBask actually, but they seem to be looking for another sponsor at least. So they're by no means leaving the scene. They are in this throughout the entire season. Let's take a look at the draft. I missed blind bands here. What did we have? All right, Clags. What a surprise! And then, of course, Midas as well for the Legion team, and the Hellborn team banning out the Tremble and the Kinesis. What's going on with the Tremble, by the way? That was something that you guys blind banded versus Recent Gaming in your first game yesterday as well.
Yeah, both these teams play some really sound Tremble, and also the hero is just up on the top right now. It's very mobile. It can be active early on. It's really hard to shut down a Tremble because he can rotate from basically any lane very quickly with those terror mounts. So it's just a hard hero to deal with, and most teams just don't want the other team to get it because it gets out of hand too quickly once it picks up that Thunderclaw. So just a pretty standard ban in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Is it also safe to say that it kind of requires some kind of coordination or strategy to actually run a successful tremble? Because I feel like it's a big difference to actually have a tremble in, like, for example, if you guys were to run the tremble, or if like a gold team, for example, not saying gold teams can't run the tremble, but it still feels like you need to have control over your rotations at all times. Like you really need to have a draft that works around the hero, because as it is very vulnerable during that laning phase.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like any other hero. It requires a lot of practice. You do have the Boris, so there is the micro aspect to the hero. So it does have a little bit of a higher skill cap, you could say. But yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a strong hero.
That it indeed is. So far throughout this draft here, we got 3 picks for each team now. Swiftblade, Moraxus, and actually Silhouette here for BMG side. This is the kind of carry player that they had some very successful results with throughout Cycle 1, BMG that is. Do you expect it to work in this game here?
Um, I don't know. Early picking the silhouette can be kind of risky for BMG here because um, they already have a Parasite picked up here for Evil Corporation, so should they want to, they could maybe look to do some kind of an offensive makeup and try to shut down uh, Baltazar, who I would assume is going to play the Silhouette here. He's a really sound Silhouette player, and they also have the Switchblade picked up, so that leads me to believe that they're going to be running a Suicide Switchblade and a short lane Silhouette. However, we have seen Fusen, I believe, run the Switchblade in more of like a roaming supportish role. So there's still that to consider as well. But
Yeah, I could
yeah,
see
Eva
that.
Corporation's got a really aggressive makeup with the Moira and the Parasite already picked up.
To me, it feels like BMG's draft is very, or they're going to have trouble catching people. Like, especially when it comes to like the Parasite. Silhouette, of course, deals physical damage later on, but at the start of it, especially with the stuns, like, they don't really have any setup stuns. If you look at the Hellborn team, they got the Moira illusion, the Shards of Harkon, of course, the Parasite with the slow and all, Behemoth with that long range stun. But when it comes to Legion's team, like, they only got the Meraxes more or less as an initiator so far. So do you think we could expect some kind of like secondary support initiator role played by Root of Sea here?
We definitely can. I'm just looking at the pool to see what heroes are left, and I'm not too sure. There is still a Fade on the board, but other than that, I don't know what other options they could run in the second support role. Um, but yeah, as of right now, until they get that portal key picked up on the Meraxis, they're gonna be lacking in the initiation. So before Meraxis gets his blink, Evil Corporation could look to do a lot of rotations. And I don't think that there's a whole lot that BMG could do to stop it until that does happen.
Yeah, now they picked up the empath as well. Solid support versus the behemoth in the suicide lane, but versus Parasite especially, as you just mentioned, like if Evil Corporation actually plays this very aggressive, then empath, well, he's not necessarily the best support to deal with the Parasite. Use the Essence Link, Parasite can easily as a jump out of the creep, or he can just stay in the creep and simply don't care. Essence Link isn't necessarily dealing a lot of damage early on. And here we go with the Deadwood for their fourth pick.
Yeah, Evil Corporation, they love the Deadwood, and I think Holy Vok, or I believe that's Bray. He plays a really good Deadwood, so um, yeah, it's not a surprise that we see Deadwood picked up here.
Oh,
And then Poliwag going to be the last pick coming out, so that is most likely going to be a second support Poliwag. And then if Poliwag can get a lot of levels, that'll give them a lot of utility and lockdown for both the Silhouette and the Switchblade in the team fights.
it doesn't really feel like it fills that secondary initiation role, though. As we were talking about earlier, you were talking about the Fade, for example. Now they got a Polywog Priest. I feel like, well, there's a lot of stuns and disables here on the Hellborn team. Of course, Moira got the Mana Drain, or what spell Mana Sunder, the Shards of Harkon, Parasite got tons of disables, Behemoth of course as well, Deadwood. Like I'm not sure if I can see Polywog Priest actually like being able to grip someone here on the Hellborn side for more than just a split second before he's interrupted.
Yeah, it could definitely be tough for him, seeing as how they are so many stuns as you pointed out. It'll mostly just come down to if he can get those like 1v1 scenarios or just like where it's even numbers to where he can get that lockdown. And we see a final pick Sandwraith coming out, and that's just going to further enhance the aggression for Evil Corporation here. I think I like it a lot actually, the Sandwraith pick.
Now let me ask you something. The Arcane Shield for Maraxus, uh, does that work? That doesn't work versus Mirage, does it?
That I'm not positive, but
That's a good
I
speed.
would want to say that it does because it acts similar to the way a Nullstone does.
Uh
Any
huh.
single target would get negated, and obviously Nullstone does block the Mirage from Sandwraith. So, but it will be hard for him to know when Sandwraith is gonna preemptively ulti. So
Yeah,
I
that
don't
that
think
is the
it's.
downside, unfortunately. But it looks like we got some aggression here from the Legion side. Straight off, Nier is going to go down, and Maki says thank you for the first blood. That's a pretty juicy one if you're the Suicide Swiftblade.
Yeah, definitely. So played now. Gonna be able to pick up those early marchers, and then he's gonna be able to sit on the Sandwraith here in the top lane. Sandwraith is actually very weak against the Switchblade early on. He does have the Desert's Curse to where he can like juke in the trees and stuff, but once Switchblade hits that level 6, Sandwraith basically can't lane in this top lane against the Switchblade for um, fear of dying to the Switchblade. So a good start already for BMG getting Bloodlust on their Switchblade.
Yeah, and look at this. Empath is looking to be up here to run the offensive dual lane for BMG side, and well, you like what do you do? Like Reason or Evil Corporation, they have full vision of this. They have the lane ward, of course, so they are aware that Empath is going to be up here. Do you still keep the Senref up at the top?
It's a tough call because what they could do is they could just let Sandra suffer for the laning phase, and then when he hits the level 6, look to get him involved in some kills and recover his farm that way. But if they do this and they let Sandra suffer, they need to make sure that both Deadwood and Behemoth have good starts because if either one of those lanes doesn't have a good start, then they're going to be losing 2 lanes against a Silhouette and Swiftblade dual core lineup, which is never a good thing when you're running a solo core with the Sandwraith. So it's going to be very important for Evil Corporation here to make sure that they do well in the laning phase. Otherwise, they're going to fall uh, victim to the Silhouette.
Alright, we see Behemoth and Mora is actually going to run their own dual offensive lineup here, so very aggressive game, it's shaping up to be at least. Parasite is over here at the Legion left hard camp as well, farming away a little bit. He is level 2, and I would expect him to reach level 3 here in the near future, and then they need to be really careful if you're Legion.
Yeah, Tankofet, his rotations in the next couple of minutes are going to be very key to Evil Corporation's success in the laning phase. And this bot lane is very gankable, seeing as how Polywog Priest is a very unmobile
Speaking
hero.
about Polywog Priest, I'm pretty sure that that block is indeed successful. Here comes the Mana Sunder as well, gonna keep Polywog away from using his morph. And here comes the Parasite as well, just to deal the final one-out attack. No health but available for Fusen. He's gonna go down. Silhouette is going to take a lot of pressure as well. There's another Fissure. It's not necessarily going to block him, but the Leech is gonna come out. And that's going to be a double tap for Evil Corporation. So just as you said, Evil Corporation bringing the pressure early on, and they are going to be successfully shutting down Silhouette.
Yeah, that started off with a very, very nice block coming out from Zane, blocking off the Polywog, so he couldn't get to his tower. And then eventually Parasite rotating in to secure a second kill onto the Silhouette. So just really nice coordination from near Zane and even Takeoffet coming in with that Skelly kick.
Yeah, Parasite once again picking up the Vagabond leader here in the left camp. Potentially they could go for a kill onto Moraxus if Moira were to transition over as well, but as we know, Moira is pretty weak versus the Moraxus simply because of that Arcane Shield of his. Of course, it procs away the Shards of Harkon, as well as the Oak Bolt, of course, and Leech from the Parasite. But, I mean, if you were to look at the positive things right now for the Legion team, I mean, Boxy is doing pretty good. 330 gold per minute, doing a little bit, or slightly better than Deadwood at least. And then, of course, we got Maki up here on 400 plus gold per minute, leading the charge so far in this game, number 1.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this, but Sandwraith has already been forced out of the top lane because I believe, I don't recall exactly, but I believe he only had one set of regen.
That fault, by the way, we got initiation here in the middle. Mana Sander, of course, gonna prevent the Arcane Shield from coming out. I'm surprised that they aren't using the Leech quite yet on Parasite. He's actually still gonna stick into Vulture Lord. I would rather see him jump out than use the Leech for his teammates. Oh, that explains it. He didn't have mana. He was waiting for the Chalice cooldown to come up once more. And this is yet going to be another successful double tap here for the Hellborn team. That just shows the importance of those rune wards in the early game.
Yeah, Invisverin doing a lot of work there, and another rotation in from Technovet and Parasite, securing 2 more kills. This is excellent rotations coming out from Evil Corporation, and they're doing exactly what I said they needed to do. Seeing as how they are letting Sandray suffer here in the top lane, they're making sure to be very active in both the mid and the bottom lane.
That they are. Soon we are going to hit that level 6 mark on our solo heroes. I would expect Deadwood here and Moraxus, of course, Swiftblade at the top lane. Sandruff still got a little bit of a way to go, isn't level 5 quite yet, but would you expect yet another gank attempt coming out here in the near future in the mid for Deadwood?
I think there's a possibility once Deadwood hits level 6, but it's going to be hard without something like a Wild Hunter Parasite level 6. The reason that gank was so successful was because they did have the Invisrun on Moira. So I think they're going to need something similar like that to kill this Moraxus again, because he's going to hit level 6 and then he's going to be really, really hard to kill, even with a Willowmaker from Deadwood coming out. But if we do look at the top lane, Swiftblade is... I mean, he got the Bloodlust at the start, but he is just having his way up here in the top lane with Sandwraith. 385 gold per minute compared to a 145 gold per minute Sandwraith. So Maki doing a fantastic job here.
That he sure is, and he should be reaching that level 6 in the near future, and then it's going to be even more risky for the Samuraf to keep or to stay in the lane. Down at the bottom, by the way, yes, Polywog Priest, there is a successful grip. The tree grapple is going to come out as well. It's going to miss, but it's not going to matter. Sane is going to fall, and BMG picks up their second kill of the game there. Are you surprised by the fact that Mora is actually like more or less just rotated away from this bot lane and left Sane on his own?
I'm a little bit surprised, but I think what it comes down to is Parasite. I think he doesn't feel safe going or staying into the Legion jungle, seeing as how there are a couple of levels now up on both the supports. And he knows that if he power farms and gets levels, or if he stays in his own jungle and just power farms, he's gonna vastly outlevel both
Oh,
the
top lane,
empath
by
and
the
the
way,
poly.
Swiftblade is on the hunt. He wants to force Emerald to use the marriage. Not gonna fall for the bait quite yet, but as you can see there, he's looking for an opportunity constantly. How would you, like, if you're a Maki, like, of course, Swift slashes, I would assume it gets interrupted if Samurf makes his way into the trees with that marriage, but it would still, I'm pretty sure that it would take at least 2 bounces before Imbaboy can actually lose vision, or make Swiftblade lose vision. Oh, look at this, by the way, Sane's gonna rotate over here as well as the Parasite and the Mora. This is not fun times if you're Make. The Facehug is gonna come off, the Mana Sunder, he is locked down, there's nothing he can do about that, and the kill is gonna be a fact, but it came at a cost, and of course a lot of time invested into that kill.
Yeah, that was a very important kill though, because Switchblade, as we stated, was having a very good time here in the top lane. And now with him dead, this is going to give Sandwraith a little bit of time to recover and get some farm while he's gone. He doesn't have to fear any Swift Slashes coming out, as Switchblade is dead and not in the top lane. So just another good rotation, both from Zane and Tenka.
Yeah, seems like the bot tower, by the way, is going to fall in favor of our Legion team here. That's the first tower kill of the game, and that's going to bump up the gold per minute here for everyone on BMGs by quite a bit. As we can see on the gold per minute chart, they got 3 heroes now in the lead. Deadwood is closing in onto Meraxus, but he's still the only one that's doing really good. Oh, bot lane missed that kill. Fusen, that was a very offensive position on his part.
Yeah, I didn't see. It looked like they were trying to dive, I guess, Behemoth, but he got the fissure stun off, and then I don't know exactly how it happened, but he just got taken down. Senrate didn't even pour it in with his Mirage, so
We got a Wild Hunter, by the way, in the mid, or rotating over to the mid. Actually, he might be looking for a kill onto Empath. Isn't quite sure. Of course, Root of Sea saw that Wild Hunter when he went invis, so he's well aware of the fact that Tankafet is lurking around somewhere in the shadows. Meraxus here as well, gonna try to scout it out a little bit. They got a word of sight, and I would assume the Wild Hunter invis is out soon. No, wait, he just reactivated it. This skin is just bugging out. He's gonna jump with a face sack, but a wonderful reaction from Boxy right there.
yeah, that was really fast reactions coming up from Boxy. Basically, like a split second before the face hug came out, he was able to activate that arcane shield.
Or the Quakes down onto Deadwood, by the way. He's looking for the Wheeler Keeper. Instead, he's going to be turned around on. Boxy is going to pop the Matrax, and he's going to absorb the entire Wheeler for now. He's going to continue to chase as well. There is another Rotten Grasp. He's going to keep Meraxus in place, and I would assume that this is going to be enough for Deadwood to survive. It's close. The Ghost Monsters are on cooldown. Swiftblade cannot catch up. Nice Fissure block by Sane as well, and now their Hellborn team are looking to turn this one around.
Yeah, that was really unlucky. Multiple Swift Slashes actually bounced to the Parasite's Minotaur. And Empath is going to go down here, getting caught too deep in the Hellborn jungle. But yeah, too many of the slashes bounced to the Minotaur. Had one more slash bounce to Deadwood, he would have fallen. So a little bit of RNG coming into play there. So a little unfortunate there for Make.
Yeah, but bright side though, I mean, BMG, I mean, overall it looks like Evil Corporation is doing good. Like, if you look at the scoreboard, 7-2 in hero kills, but then you take a look at the gold per minute chart and you're like, oh, wait, maybe not as good as we originally thought. Like, it's actually BMG dominating the chart so far. I mean, Silhouette especially, and this is kind of hero that has a, well, relatively slow start usually, but as soon as she kicks up or picks up that nullstone, I mean, she's gonna start to skyrocket in gold per minute. So having 440 gold per minute 10 minutes into the game on a Silhouette is quite impressive.
Yeah, and I like what BMG have done here. They've rotated Silhouette into the jungle to start working on stacks. And then they've given the bottom lane to Poliwag because him hitting level 6 and eventually getting something like a tablet or a portal key will really help for BMG to have enough lockdown for Silhouette and Swiftblade to do
Oh, here
damage.
we
And now,
go.
speaking of
Speaking
Poliwag,
about Polywog, yes, he got, oh, the Shockwave dealing tons of damage. They're gonna get Root of the Sea as a bonus right there, walking straight into the Shockwave, and, well, yet another kill happening, or 2 kills happening for this Hellborn team. So we're up to 9-2 in hero kills, but yet, that's only the supports. The 3 main heroes and the core heroes for BMGs, they still remain alive.
Yeah, so as much as this 9-2 looks like really, really good for Evil Corporation, 6 of the 9 kills have been on the two supports. So that's why we see BMG having 3 of their cores all above 350 gold per minute, each sitting at only 1 death, but still maintaining very good farm across the board. Veiled Rock coming out from Poliwag in the mid lane.
Yeah, as we were talking about, he got that ultimate of his available now as well. Now, I do believe that the cooldown is, well, it's actually up to 120 seconds, so it's not that big, but you still need to be careful with how you use it. You need to make sure that those wards are placed in a very correct position. Moira is
Something's gonna
relatively
happen here.
close
We got Moira and
by.
Polly right next to each other. Oh, I think he spotted him.
I'm not entirely. Yeah, I think he did. The Shards of Harkon are
Nice.
gonna come out and prevent the grip from happening. Polywig is actually going to be the one in trouble now. Beautiful execution by Evil Corporation.
Uh, that could have been so big if he was able to get the morph off into the poly wards. That could have been the complete opposite story for Fusen, but unfortunately
Oh,
not
Swift
able
Slashes is
to
actually going to happen
set.
at the top lane. That is a very questionable ultimate though from Maki. That was a 100% HP Sandrev nearby to the trees. I'm surprised that he actually used Swift Slashes in a situation like that. I mean, once as we were talking, or we were just talking about it as well, like the 2-minute cooldown on ultimates, like you need to be really careful with how you use them because it's going to take quite some time before they're up again. And well, so far Maki's Swift Slashes has been a little bit questionable throughout the game.
Yeah, unfortunately the previous one he used had some bad RNG, but maybe that one wasn't the best use of the ability. He has tapered off a bit. He had that very good start where he was 400 GPM. Still doing very well though, sitting at 350, but has slowed down quite a bit. Swipelight is one of those heroes that when you give him a really good start, he can spiral out of control very fast. But luckily for Evil Corporation, that isn't the case here. Um,
Help me out here as well. Like Boxy, he must be sitting on an additional item, right? Like he's 350 gold per minute, 30 minutes in, but he only got a plated greaves. That can't be. Oh wait, there is a portal key on the ground. He's not
yeah, I was gonna
showing
say
it.
it's 13 minutes and he should have his blink sitting at this GPM. Uh,
He's actually gonna pick up the portal key right there, and he's gonna pour it back towards the base. I wouldn't be too surprised if they are going to try to coordinate some kind of gank setup here in the near future with that portal key. Of course, they still haven't used the voodoo wards a single time throughout the game.
Triple stack ancient's gonna be worked on by Evil Corporation. And we got Puzzle Box just completed on Parasite and Behemoth sitting at he's 50 gold away from his blink. So two very important pickups
Oh, mid
coming out
lane,
for
what's going on
PC.
over here? Voodoo wards, speaking about it, they are going to get an easy kill onto Embrace using that portal key surprise factor. And, well, Deadwood was actually relatively close to his portal key as well, so that's going to keep him away from it for at least another minute or two.
Yeah, definitely a good kill for BMG. However, unfortunately not able to turn that kill into a tower push in the mid here, seeing as how the wards are not in range.
Yeah, I love how
But
that
a good
way.
kill nonetheless.
I love how that worked in the beta, by the way. Like, you can still wall trap people, but it's slightly harder than it was a few years back when Palo Priest like was just released at the start of the game. Like it was so much easier to actually make those voodoo traps happen, and therefore you just simply every single time you got it up, you just morph the enemy hero and you place the ward traps in range of the tower. Never mind, hold that thought.
Mid lane.
Boxy in trouble. He's got a regeneration room, but he's not gonna get an opportunity to use it. 5-man collapse in the mid lane. They are successfully going to bring him down and potentially look to push this tower. There is a Hell Cannon being used by Tagga, but it looks like he is looking for more kills. Fusen is nearby, but he's not gonna fall victim for a gank quite yet, at least. He's gonna play it carefully. What would you expect, or maybe that's an obvious choice now, as we can see 200 or 2.6k gold pulling up here on
Yeah,
Samriv,
I
but
was just looking at that. I noticed a couple of minutes ago that Sandrith was sitting on red boots and he was pulling quite a bit of gold. I guess he just wants to go straight into the mock. It is very risky, but at the same time, until Morax has picked up his blink, as we said at the drafting stage, there's really no threat of initiation for Hellborn. So I mean, they know he has the portal key now, so Imbaboy has to play very safe. Um, and it looks like he kind of senses something up with uh, the lane at its current position, but he is moving up to farm here, so this
Yeah,
could be a dead sandwich.
this is an interesting scenario though, because oh my
Oh
god, a
wow!
Quake Stun hits Behemoth as well as the Semref is gonna prevent the Shockwave or the Fissure from coming out in time, and Semref is going to go down as a result. He's actually still gonna go in, try to turn it on to Boxy. Of course the Matrix are down, so is the Quake, and Puzzle Box, is it going to be able to finish off more access? It should, so in the end it is a 1-for-1 trade, but that was talk about unfortunate.
What a quick stun coming out from Boxy. Had he portal keyed like a little bit more to the left, that Quake Stun would have missed Behemoth entirely, and then he would have got turned on, and Sandwraith could potentially have lived there. So yeah, really just I don't know if I want to call it luck that he placed his Quake Stun there, but I mean just
A
really nice
mix of
job.
it at least. The Swift Blade actually, nice reaction coming out from Make. He's going to be able to get the spin off before he gets hit by the Willowmaker and therefore prevent the Rotten Grass from keeping him locked down. Or the Willowkeeper from keeping him locked down. Silhouette, by the way, at the bot lane is going to pick up that tier 2 tower. Behemoth is nearby. He's waiting for another Fissure, I would assume. Shockwave is still going to be down for another 70 seconds. Empath actually in a little bit of an offensive position herself, but she's going to be fine for now. Getting some very nice water sites out though on the map. Oh, look at this. Polywog Priest up at the top lane. Mora is nearby. Nice jump by Miraxis though. Mirage is going to come out from Semref as well. The Matrix, the Quick Stun. Another 5 seconds left until it's up once again. Empath's going to fall in the background. Not going to be able to use their ultimate in time. Swift Blade, Swift Slashes, and Spin are on cooldown. And it looks like the Hellborn team are... Oh my god, the Arcane Vortex. Not the best position right there from this.
Silhouette's here.
Silhouette is joining the ranks, going to finish off near, and in the end, I mean, that turned out into a 2-for-1 situation, so I would be pretty happy with that if I were Legion team. That could have gone way worse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. We haven't talked about Silhouette a whole lot this game, but holy cow, is he doing a fantastic job. 530 GPM. He's already got the portal key picked up, and he's already got a quick blade to be working on his firebrand. But Baltazar here on the Silhouette just doing a really excellent job with that creep farm. And this is going to become very scary very quickly
Willowmaker, by the way, is up. Speaking about the
corporation.
Silhouette, yeah, he's gonna force out the Shadow, but not necessarily. He was hoping for a kill. Unfortunately, he ran into the Silhouette. If he would have been encountered another support hero from BMG's side, that would have most definitely turned into a kill. What do you do then if you're Hellborn? Like, do you simply sit back or do you try to address Balthasar on the Silhouette?
It's a really tough call because they kind of need. I think they need Sandwraith to get his Mock, and then when they have that with the Behemoth and the Moira, they have enough damage to just kind of like globally find the Silhouette and pick him off. However, they do have to remove that Null Stone so Sandwraith can TP in with the Mirage. Uh, but yeah, it's really hard. I think they need Behemoth level 11, and they need the Mock to be completed on Sandwraith. Before they can successfully take him down without him getting the swap off.
Yeah, we do
But
have to
they do
remember.
have very good heroes at dealing with a Silhouette. They have Parasite with the Leech and the Facelug to take off the Nullstone and then keep him silenced until he picks up the Geometer's Bane. And then the Moira Mana Sunder also very good against heroes with escapes.
That is true. I do, however, think that Parasite and Moira both are going to require or need to get their portal keys before they can really address the Silhouette full
Mid lane, we're
out.
gonna see some action.
Oh, what's going on over here? Quakes down onto Behemoth. He's locked down. He's gonna get the shockwave off in the last second there and getting a turn kill onto Silhouette or onto Swiftblade. Silhouette's gonna jump in as well. He's mana drained. He's not having enough mana for a swap, but it doesn't matter. Hellborn team are gonna focus on bringing down Miraxes. I don't think that this one is going to happen as Boxy blinks out to the Rotten Grasp. Nice placement though. It's gonna keep him in check for now. There is an Arcane Vortex and a Quake Stun up now for Miraxes, but of course he's getting mana drained constantly by the puzzle box. He's not able to use any spells whatsoever. Here comes the support though for the Legion team, porting in Empath there with the wall, not going to help too much, and they're just continuing to pound onto their Miraxes with their auto attacks, finally gonna get the kill, and now they're out for Empath as well.
Yeah, it just felt like Boxy was running forever and he didn't get the team support. to help him.
Yeah, that felt like, I don't know, it felt like they chased him forever and their support was just non-existent from the side of Legion. It felt like there
Yeah,
were
so
plenty of
Switchblade was
opportunities.
dead, and Silhouette didn't have mana for swaps with her illusion. And then it looked like Poliwag was just farming top lane with, I think, low mana, so he wouldn't have been able to port in and do much. So yeah, just really unfortunate because Boxy was able to survive for a very long time there, but as we said, wasn't able to get the team support to keep him alive or get any turn kills. And now Evil Corporation's going to push this bottom lane with the Parasite Catapult, and Centerate does have his Mock picked up now, so
That he does, but at the top lane, Veil Drought, Silhouette might be in trouble here. Are they going to be able to get the Nullstone off though? They don't have Mirage quite yet. It's another 5 seconds. They're just going to say, hey, we're happy with the deny off the tower. Or wait, are they? Silhouette? Oh, that's the illusion. So they are going to get successful deny at the tower as well as they pick up the bottom tower on the Legion side. So good turn of events right there for this Hellborn side. Sam, of course, as you're talking about as well, picked up that Mug of Brilliance. He needs to be careful. The Vox is actually in the neighborhood. He can see the sand trail. There is the grapple to provide a vision. Of course,
he can't
Boxy
portal key.
can't,
The
yeah,
Mock is
exactly, he
turning his link
can't
down.
use the portal key quite yet. He's gonna go out to the Mock range right there and try to hit the Quake Stun.
Oh,
Nice duke by
unfortunate.
Imba Boy, and he is going to be able to escape. The
Off the
question
cliff, he's
is,
down the cliff.
so close on the Silhouette though with the puzzle box. Swift Slash is actually going to come down to bring down the Mauler, and it seems like Tankafet might have overstayed his welcome a little bit. The Courier is going to fall as well. Here comes the Shockwave, jumping in, locking down Swiftblade. All of his spells are on cooldown. Quick stun, well placed, but it's not going to be enough. This is not going very well for the Legion team. Empath going to try to port out, but it's not going to happen. Arcane Vortex popping out just to secure the kill.
Yeah,
There
that
we
was a
go.
funny ulti by Nier, but damage was already done. 4 down for the side of BMG, and they only get the Parasite.
It really feels like Empath and Polywog Priest so far just haven't been able to provide too much for their teammates, like in terms of support, like in those team
Yeah,
fights.
I was just gonna say how, I mean, we kept middle lane Silhouette gonna find a Moira, and she's gonna go down. But I was gonna say, we give a lot of credit to both Make and Balthazar, playing the Switchblade and the Silhouette, doing a fantastic job. But I think it really just comes down to the supports in this game not having a big impact. Had this Polywog Priest been something like a Fade instead, where he offers that line stun, I just think there would be so much more being offered to the team. But that's just my opinion personally. I just don't think Poly has really found his place in this game. And same with Empath, both sitting on 6 deaths.
It's so difficult to actually play an Empath versus this Hellborn team. Like, if it would have been one thing if he was actually on the side of Hellborn and he would be able to constantly sit close to the Zenrith, but like he just cannot keep up with Silhouette. Like, he's constantly moving around with the Polki, with the tree grapple, and Empath is just gonna have to try to run after him with the Striders, as you can see, but it's not going to be very successful. He's actually looking to build into an Alchemist Bones here as well. What do you think about that on the Empath lines?
I like it a lot. Um, Puzzle Box is gonna do a lot of damage to Switchblade here. But yeah, I like it a lot, and the reason for that is he can jump inside either the Switchblade or the Silhouette, and then use the Alchemist Bones and not take any damage from the Mauler.
Oh, look at that. Zenrith is gonna jump in. It's gonna come at a cost. So Arcane Shield goes up. There is no escaping for Zenrith. So Balthasar is actually gonna be the one to get credit for the kill. So not a worthy trade in the end.
No, definitely not. Had that been the Silhouette, you could make the argument that it would have been an okay trade, seeing as how they are both the one rolls or the carries. But Switchblade kind of like the backup carry, so not being as important here as the Silhouette.
Yeah, speaking about the Silhouette, picked up a Geometry Spear now as well, as you mentioned earlier. That is going to be very effectful versus the Parasite. Of course, you can disjoint or remove the silence effect from his Facehug. Look at the wards, by the way, on this map. Haven't talked too much about it throughout the game, but Nier so far is doing an excellent job with map control. It might come, or it might be Tankafet helping him out with the puzzle box, of course, as well. But at the same time, there are 2 supports on the side of Legion, so you would almost feel like they should be able to keep up with Vision.
Yeah, whenever you play against the Parasite with a really early Puzzle Box 3, it always feels like your wards just slowly and slowly go down. And I think it just comes down to, I mean, Nier's probably doing a really great job, but also just the support from Takeofa with that Puzzle Box.
Yeah, Tankafet, of course, very comfortable on that Parasite here. We have seen it blind banned countless of times versus Evil Corporation.
Eldorato, it's gonna get broke immediately by the silhouette illusion.
He's going
Uh,
to be finding a Wild Hunter as well. That's a nice little present for him. Behemoth, by the way, is gonna, well, he's gonna out-attack the Shadow Clone here a little bit from Silhouette. Not gonna happen too much though. Are you, like, 10 minutes ago, I would say that if you were a Legion, you would have been comfortable actually sitting back and allowing Silhouette to just split push and farm. But as the game is progressing right now, we can see that Hellborn team, they have definitely made their way back into the game. And Semref, of course, with that Mock of Brilliance, they're very greedy to pick up. Oh, what's
Action.
going on?
Polywog gonna go down.
Hollywood Priest going to
Or
go
Axis
down before
now
the fight
being
even
going on.
starts. Rotten Grasp is going to be sidestepped there, and Boxy is going to be successfully being able to port out. Very well played on his part. It might not end quite there though. Makia is, well, he's on the run. Puzzlebox is going to be pursuing for now, but he's going to turn around and he's going to go to farm the actions a little bit instead. But yeah, as my point, like, what do you do if you're a Legion? Like, are you comfortable sitting back and just allowing Silhouette to continue farming?
I think they kind of need to. Seeing as how they do have, I don't know. It's a tough call. I think they need the Alchemist Bones on Empath. Otherwise, as you've seen in the fights, there's literally no way they could deal with the Parasite once he's in the Mauler. Um, if Switchblade kills it, that's like half his health gone. If Poly kills it, he basically kills himself. And the Mana Drain is just doing a lot of work against the Silhouette, not allowing her to swap as much as she'd like to and whatnot in team fights. So I think they really need the Alchemist Bones picked up at Empath. And then they need to somehow stop Behemoth from getting a big ulti onto the Silhouette because Behemoth is like their way of dealing with the Silhouette this game. Um, so they're just gonna TP out at top lane. Oh, Arcane Vortex, just barely missing.
Oh, that was a good attempt at least by Nier. I like the point that you brought up with the Silhouette. Of course, being a very low-ranged auto-attacker. She is ranged, of course, she's not melee, but she still has a very low auto-attack range. And of course, that puzzle box draining all the mana, the Mauler especially, is going to cause a lot of issues.
What do you think of Deadwood picking up a barbed armor? I find that very strange. I think if you were gonna go the defensive route or something like barbed, that you might as well just go avoid talisman, seeing as how you're against a Switchblade, a Silhouette, and even like the Polywog wards from Polywog are all physical.
That is
I don't understand why he would pick up a barbed.
no, that's indeed questionable. I didn't pick up on that, so nice observation seeing as he went for that barbed armor. Yeah, I mean, Swift Slashes, like, you're obviously not going to be able to use the barbed armor during Swift Slashes, so, oh, Parasite in the mid is going to be caught off guard from that Alchemist Bones on Empath. He just picked up, he's going to try to turn it around onto Fusen. Not going to be enough for a return kill. Deadwood jumps in with the Willowmaker, he's going to lock down Swiftblade, so 1-for-1 trade so far. I'm wondering if the Hellborn team are going to be able to get anything more. No, it's Legion team instead going to pick off the Behemoth. Silhouette's going to get credit for that kill, and he's going to swap out straight again and continue to farm. So looking at the gold per minute chart, like, I would have expected, oh, actually Mora is gonna fall victim as well. That's unfortunate for him. Balthasar is all over the game. Onslaught streak for him now. But looking at the gold per minute chart, like, when Imboboy picked up that Mock of Brilliance, I would have expected his farm to start skyrocketing, but for some reason he's been like, well, more or less just been stagnant for the last 10 minutes or so, around 350 gold per minute. Why is that?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. Imboboy just one of those really he's a great player at finding farm even when he doesn't have the best laning phase. And yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm a little surprised that he's not at least 400 plus right now. But he has been doing a great job. I mean, he's only died twice. He's sitting at 6-2 and 8. And he's been showing up to every team fight with that Mirage. So I haven't really found any major flaws with how he's been playing this game. But like you said, I am a little surprised as well at his GPM being where it's at.
Yeah, it probably comes down to him sharing the forest with the Parasite on top of course, Deadwood and Behemoth. It seems like Deadwood has been taking up a lot of space in this game, and seeing as he invested in that barbed armor, yeah, that is a little bit questionable. Bulwark would have seemed like a pretty good fit in this game, especially with, of course, the puzzle box and the Parasite. Actually, Tankman is going to pick it up right here, and he's going to go for that Conga.
I think BMG, I think they know. They have a ward at the observatory here, but they don't actually have any vision in the Kongor area. So they don't know that it's what the HP or anything is like, but they have an idea that it's going on. But yeah, in the last team fight, we saw BMG able to take down the Parasite and the Behemoth. And I would say if they can continue to keep doing that, take down those two heroes, that's going to really greatly increase their chances of winning team fights because, as we said, the Behemoth being able to lock down the Silhouette, if he's not able to do that, if BMG can get the jump on the Behemoth and also lock down the Parasite from just sitting in his Mauler and doing tons and tons of damage in team fights, I think BMG is going to come out ahead every time.
Yeah, we should give credit for Root of Sea for actually deciding to go for that Alchemist Bones. It's turned out to be very helpful so far. It's actually, or it's definitely going to cause an issue for Tankafat playing the Parasite in those team fights. Obviously, I mean, you can't invest when you get your creep Alchemist Boned. Like, then how long is the cooldown before you can actually infest a new creep?
The cooldown on Infest is 30 seconds, but when you're in a creep and the cooldown's gone down, you have a 5-second window to where when you jump out, you can infest a new creep.
5-second window, yeah, that is some crucial seconds right there, especially in a team fight. You're going to be very vulnerable. Shockwave by Behemoth, only going to catch Moraxus though. That was actually the Silhouette Illusion. Spalsar is gonna jump in, doesn't have the Shrunken Head yet. Face Hug and into the Mora ultimate.
Kongor is gonna go down, Sandrate's gonna get the token here.
Oh my god, he is, but he's going to fall victim right as he does, and there goes Behemoth as well. Samref going to try to get up. Mirage is actually down, or I mean the Desert Curse, so he's not going to be able to cliff walk, but it seems like the Hellborn team are still coming out on top of this team fight. I'm not entirely sure what happened with Silhouette. I thought that he was gonna turn that Mighty Brand into a Shrunken Head. He decided to go for an Ice Brand instead.
Yeah, and what happened to the token? Did it get picked up and used? Because
it got picked up by Samref and he died instantly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Ice Brand pickup. I guess his thought process is he's playing against the Deadwood, which is going to go through a Shrunken Head, but at the same time, he's got the Geometer's Bane and his Shadow to where he could cause a lot of confusion for Deadwood. Being able to punch the right hero, so to speak. But yeah, I don't really know why he would choose Ice Brand over a Shrunken. He could still mitigate a lot of the damage from Behemoth. None of Moira's abilities can do damage to you with Shrunken Head, and same with the Parasite.
Yeah, and of course,
and the Maka Brilliance in the team fight. So I really disagree with that, and I'm not too sure what his thought process was behind picking up the Ice Brand.
I mean,
but I would imagine he's going to look to turn this into a full Frostwolf Skull.
Are you sure? Do you really see that viable? I know you said you disagree, but turning it into a Frostwolf Skull as well, that's a lot of gold invested. I feel like he's not going to be able to move unless he gets his Shrunken Head. Like, he's just going to be able to fall victim.
Mirage coming out.
It's Swift played up the top lane that is the target of choice from Hellborn's side. Unfortunately, not going to get it. But
Shockwave wasn't used, so they still have Shockwave.
They do. It seems like the Legion team are around and looking for an opportunity to go for Imbo Boy. As you can see right there, Mock of Brilliance was turned off, so there was no way for Legion team to actually reveal his position right there. But I mean, in that previous team fight as well at Kongor, like, he used Geometer's Bane with the illusions to scout Kongor, so he didn't have that option. He jumped in with his Polkey and he got face hugged straight from the start. Obviously, the Mirage already took off his Nullstone, so it was an easy choice for Parasite or an easy way for Parasite to deal with the Silhouette, and he just got, shut down. It was absolutely nothing he could do. So
yeah, but if he had a Shrunken Head there, a lot of the damage that if he was to get jumped wouldn't be able to happen, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like at least he needs to wait with the Geometer's Bane before he actually jumps into the team fight in that case to keep it as that,
and there's the full Frostwolf Skull.
Wow, you are right. Tree Grapple gonna provide vision. The grapple stun is going to be jointed. Shockwave onto Silhouette. Once again, she got Frostwolf Skull, but it's not going to be nearly enough. She's just constantly locked down. There's nothing Balthazar can do in this team fight. She's 560 gold per minute, but there's just like, she can't even move in a team fight. She's a non-factor at that point. There's a nice Tree Grapple. Once more, it's a complete genocide. The only one going down. Never mind, they didn't get a single hero. That's a 5 for nothing exchange in favor of our Hellborn team.
So yeah, I think his thought process was before he picked up the Frostwolf Skull was that if he bulks up, he'll be able to survive the damage output coming out from the Hellborn side. However, as we just saw there, Behe was able to sit on him with his full combo, and it doesn't matter that he has 2600 HP, he still goes down. And that just really that just reiterates the point that if he had had a shrunken head and was able to get it off before Behe jumps on him, he wouldn't be sitting there stun locked. He would be able to get auto attacks off, able to use the shadow and swap, and he would just be doing a whole lot more in team fights. But because he went for this Frostwolf Skull, it doesn't offer him anything to be able to sit there and pound in auto attacks in the team fight.
Yeah, and this is a silhouette that has empath inside of him throughout those teamfights as well. So I mean, it's safe to say that Balthazar would have enough damage even if he went for the shrunken head. There we go, full demonic breastplate picked up on Parasite as well. Tankafed is now looking really scary, reaching that 400 plus gold per minute mark.
Yeah. Silhouette gonna find Parasite here, but is he gonna have the damage to take him down?
Oh my god, they're actually gonna try to turn it around. Nice place. The Quake Stun though is going to keep Silhouette alive for now. Is it going to be long enough though? It's not. They're going to pick up the Parasite, but the Mirage is going to be used. Imaboy is gonna get back into the fight. She picked up a Nullfire Blade, by the way. Gonna bring down Meraxus. Empath's gonna follow his lead and 3-for-1 exchange once more. This is not good news whatsoever for this Legion team. Balthazar has died 3 times now in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, just another really good find from Reason, or rather a save. I don't know if Tanka was baiting or if he just got great team support in time, but nonetheless, a really nice job from Evil Corporation here. But yeah, if we compare Sandra's items, I mean, we've given Silhouette a lot of hate this game, but Imbaboy's items just make so much sense. He's got the Geometer's Bane to where he can disjoint Empath, Link, he can use illusions to absorb Swift Slashes, he can remove the slow from axes stacking on him from Moraxis, and then he picks up the Nullfire Blade, and that's to deal with the Silhouette illusion. So Imbaboy's just done a fantastic job here this game with his itemization. All of his items make a lot of sense, they all have a purpose, and thus why we see him having so much success this game. So I just wanted to point that out that Imbaboy doing a really fantastic job.
That he sure is. Everyone from Recent Gaming side or Evil Corporation, I still can't get that right. I mean, it's not like it's
gonna
easy
take time.
name either. Like it's not.
They've been
something
Reason
that,
for so long. I mean, back to what, like season 1 or season 2? They've been Reason for a long time.
Yeah, since
At
season
least
2, I think. Yeah.
At least Imbaboy and Zane, for that matter.
They were called Justice League.
Okay, yeah. So
throughout
maybe it was
season 1.
season 2.
Yeah, and this
Or-
is their
yeah.
like this is kind of like a pun for that season 1 name. They were playing with Bagging Box, Tilla, and Saint Rocks, I believe, as well as Imboy and Zane throughout season 1. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that was the case at least. So yeah, this is kind of like a pun now. They're called Evil Corporation, but it's not like something that just rolls off your tongue. It's not like, oh my god, Evil Corporation in the team fight, they're going to blah blah blah. It's like
Yeah, I called them EC like a couple times.
that
I
mixes
don't
it
know.
up as well.
ECX? I don't know. ECX seems kind of funky, but
Such
it
a
is what it is.
tough team name. I'm gonna have to have a serious talk with Nir here, who's going to be my co-caster for next game, by the way. See what he, or not next game,
Nice.
next series. See what it is. I don't know. Maybe I can convince him to actually change the name.
Yeah, Nir's an awesome guy. Had the pleasure of meeting him at DreamHack, and he's just an awesome guy to hang out with and talk to.
That he sure is. Great guy. Alright, let's continue to see here what the next item of choice will be for our Hellborn side. Like, we got another 2.7k gold saved up onto Samref here. What could you possibly see him picking up here? Would it be potentially that Wingbow, or would you like to see a
I
shrunken
would
head?
I would say Wingbow would be a very good option because
Oh, what's going on over here? By the way, Maki is going to be locked on. Of course, that Mana Sunder is a great counter, and meanwhile,
in the mid
Deadwood,
lane, Deadwood gets to pick on the Polywog with the scouting from the Mirage.
that is, Balthazar is doing his best to actually counter push this while this is happening though. The base tower is actually down to 50% HP now. There comes the Fissure attempt by Behemoth. Nice reactions though from Balthazar. Is going to swap it back to the base. But yeah, I mean, this has just been snowballing out of control now during the last 10 minutes or so in favor of our Hellborn team. Look at the experience and the gold gain advantage right now.
Yeah, so back to Sandwraith. I think Wingbow would be his best option because they've been shutting down the Silhouette and the Switchblade a lot in the team fights, and neither of them are close to a Savage Mace. So him having the Wingbow would put him significantly further ahead of both the carries, and it would force both of them to need to pick up a Savage so that they could deal with him in team fights. Um, he could go for something like a Frostwolf Skull or a Heart and just be really tanky. However, he's only died twice, so I wouldn't say that those are items that he necessarily needs. I think the Wingbow here would be the best option.
Yeah, he's closing in on it at least. Reached 500 plus gold per minute, and he's actually closing in onto Silhouette as well. And of course, if you are the Silhouette, you kind of want to snowball a little bit. You kind of don't want to be even with the Zanref. Brutalizer, by the way, is that something that we could potentially see here? I mean, he's got a Nullfire Blade already, so I guess that would fill up his inventory slot a little bit too fast. Maki in the mid lane, by the way, seems like he's going to be able to escape from this one.
I don't I don't see lockdown being an issue here for this Hellborn team. Had they not had heroes like Behemoth, Moira, and even Deadwood for lockdown, I think the Brutalizer could have been definitely an option. But seeing as how and he goes for a Resto Stone. So
Wow.
Imbaboy valuing double Mirage, double Purge, double Illusions highly.
I guess that it comes down to map presence, the fact that he always wants to be able to join his teammates in battle.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It looked like BMG was trying to do a Veiled Rot play, but Illusions from Deadwood breaking a couple Veiled Rots here. So nice
Oh,
job from
Behemoth is actually gonna
Ray.
jump in. He's gonna get morphed on. He's going to be ward trapped. Where is the follow up? What was that all about? Empath in the background is gonna be trying to pour it out. Polywog Priest is gonna fall. Arcane Vortex is gonna catch a lot of people right now. Not entirely sure who's going down. Is that the real Silhouette or is it a fake? I don't even know. It is the fake. It is a shadow in the end. Legion team looking to take another fight. They're looking to go back in, but it's not gonna happen. So it's gonna actually end it with a one-on-one trade. Seems like Mac is actually looking for a shrunken head on his own. Do you agree with that, or what could this mighty brand potentially turn into?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, the mighty brand onto Maki. Actually hold that thought a little bit because we got the Conquer fight approaching here. Swiftblade is gonna run in. Swift Slash is still up. The Willowmaker though.
Oh, what
Nice
a
play by Deadwood. It's gonna keep him locked down for now. The Facehug actually gonna be used on Swiftblade as well. Not gonna be enough to bring him down. There we go. Barbed Armor is popped. It's not going to work versus the Swiftblade, of course, who is immune during the ultimate. Deadwood, so close. Silhouette actually trapped on the hill. I'm not entirely sure if that's the real one or not. It is. He's gonna go
that's
down. Double tap in
unfortunate.
favor of Imbaboy. Now, I almost clicked on the observatory. There we
Oh,
go.
Imbaboy goes down to the Matrix.
Oh, damn,
First,
that's
I should get a return
unfortunate.
kill here, and another kill onto a bat.
Big picture, though, that is definitely a fight that the Hellborn team is happy with. They didn't have to use a single buyback and only lost two people.
Silhouette bought back here, and they want this Cog War. They know
Oh.
They're gonna force a buyback on Sandwraith here. He's gonna use the Mirage.
Fusa not using his Void Talisman right there. I'm pretty sure that you can use the Void Talisman while you're gripping.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was a little bit odd by Fusen right there, but okay, this is at least going to prevent all chances that Legion team have to actually defend this Kongor. It's going to fall in the hands of Samref once again, the token that is, and well, some very impressive stats now as well as we can see for Imbaboy. 15, 3 and 15. This is a Samref that started off with a very weak laning phase.
Yeah, we've touched on it throughout the game. Imbaboy just doing a really good job. So Silhouette bought back there, and that forced a buyback from Sandwraith as well. So both carries are down a buyback. However, now Token of Life is picked up on the Sandwraith, so they're gonna pressure the base here with a Catapult,
Oh, the
Parasite.
Arcane Vortex actually gonna keep the entire Legion team in Shack as well in the background, gonna prevent Meraxes from defending this Millerax, and it's gonna fall. That was a beautiful play by Nair. Willowmaker's actually going to be used on Samaref or on Swiftblade as well. The spin though, Quake's gonna hit 3 people. The spin is dealing some or moderate amount of damage. Swift Slash is still down though. Perfectly placed Shockwave from Behemoth just as the spin goes off. There is a buyback though from Make. Hellborn team might have overextended a little bit. There is the token though. Samaref is gonna come back to life right there. Parasite's still alive. She's very low inside of that crypto. He needs to be careful. Actually going to try to man up. The swap is going to be a fact. Swift or Silhouette is back into the base. She's going to be able to swap in in the near future though. Parasite, that is the Hellborn team's rotten grasp. Oh, Silhouette so close to dying. Mora almost getting the kill.
Yep, and big picture, Melee Rex gonna go down for a reason.
That it sure is.
And they still have 5 ready to go, so
I mean, it
not
just
gonna
doesn't
stop.
seem like BMG's got anything to say to this Hellborn team when it comes to team fighting. Like, Behemoth is just every single time he's just waiting patiently. Like, he's got a luxury to wait at least. He doesn't have to initiate straight away. He can simply wait for Swiftblade spin to wear off in a Shrunken Head from Raxus. There we go, excellent coordination once again from Reason's gaming side. They are gonna get Maki as bonus prize, and I would assume that that is indeed going to be the game.
Yep. Really well played here from Evil Corporation.
Yeah, they continue to show us some very impressive plays. I mean, do you think that this has anything to do with your new addition here, Embre actually stepping in? I mean, he did play for Recent Gaming throughout Cycle 3, so he's in, like, by no means a new addition in that kind of way. He's very familiar with how Recent Gaming plays, but still, I mean, you guys picked up Love as well, and it kind of felt like a little bit of a fresh start. I've talked to you guys about that before, but do you think it's kind of similar now, maybe, for Evil Corporation here in cycle number 2?
Well, the way I like to look at it is I think Bray fits their playstyle very well. He has a similar playstyle to Onmi, and Reason had a lot of success with Onmi, where they're both space creating type of players. They don't take up a lot of space on the map, and that usually means that Imboboy gets a lot of room to farm. But with Misera, I think he was a little bit more of a space taking player, and he was fairly good at space creating. However, I think he was more of a space taker than, say, Bray or Onmi. And I think these players just kind of fit the style of Reason a little bit better. Because, as we know, once Imboboy gets that farm, he always transitions it into W. So that's what I've noticed anyway. And he had an impressive stat line, 8, 2, and 20 here on the Deadwood. So it's hard to say that he didn't have a big impact in that game.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. There seems to be some issues still with the login service, by the way. The client